What are you cooking today, Miss Martha? Well, it's fish. I really usually don't like to cook fish in the house because I feel that it gets in the sofa, the carpet, the drapes, everywhere, the cabinets. Ugh. You gotta be careful what kind of fish you cook in your house. Also, my husband loves his fish baked. I particularly don't care for baked fish. I was growing up out there in the country where, we had catawba trees in the backyard, so we had our own bait for free. And we went to Pawpaw's fishing pond, so the fish that we caught, they were free. So it was a cheap meal. We had fried fish often. You had your Crisco vegetable shortening, the little solid lard looking kind, and you had your cast iron skillet. You put a dollop of your Crisco in there, let that melt down, get hot, put a little cornmeal, a little salt, pepper on your fish. Put that in that skillet, and the other, you boil some water, you add that to your sifted cornmeal with a little salt in it, and then another skillet with Crisco in that was your cornbread. So, it's still zero trans fat. Crisco's always been zero trans fat, vegetable shortening. However, we're really not supposed to be eating fried food, so I'm going to do his fish for him baked in the oven, and I'm going to do my fish in the air fryer. I have a beautiful piece of Icelandic Cod. It's one of my favorite fish because it's not a fishy fish. I've got a lot that I've got to prep beforehand. I've got to go ahead. When I'm doing little fish fingers for me, like a toddler, fish fingers for me in the air fryer, I'm also going to do some French fries in the air fryers. And I'm going to make him his fish in the oven with lemon and lots of flavor and all that, herbs. And I have to do him a coleslaw that I'm using yogurt instead of mayonnaise to save on calories that way. The first thing I've got to do is get the potatoes peeled and sliced into French fry shapes and put those in to soak in a little bit of water and some salt, because that will release the starch, so that when I fry them in the air fryer, they'll be crunchy on the outside, but they'll be nice and soft on the inside. So after I get my potatoes peeled, next step I will do, and got those soaking, I need to mix up my coleslaw, because that needs to go ahead and be in the refrigerator so all the little flavors can marinate together and become a nice seasoned side dish for his fish. After I take care of the coleslaw, I'll go ahead and I'll get his fish prepped with the lemon and the herbs and wrapped in foil to go in the oven to bake. And then we'll move over to the oven and I'll fry the French fries, pre-fry, in some zero trans fat oil, just long enough, like I did if you saw the Popeye's chicken recipe. If you just put flour on the outside of the item you're going to be air frying, it's just going to come out and it's going to sound like a hockey puck. So if you pre-fry it, I know they say you can spray a little non-stick spray on the outside of the flour, and you got to keep it from blowing all off and keep it from being, that doesn't work. Trust me, that doesn't work. You got to pre-fry it in your zero trans fat grease. Just one side, flip it 1 minute, other side, flip it 1 minute, take it out, drain it on paper towel so most of that grease comes back off of it, and then put it in your air fryer. I don't want to do the fish first, because then if I come after the fish and put my French fries in the same pan of grease, taste fishy, and I just told you I don't like fishy taste. So I'll do the French fries first, set those aside, then I'll do the fish, set that aside, and then I can have one tray of each, because I've got a double tray air fryer over that, and we'll rotate it halfway through, put the fish on the top, French fries on the bottom in the air fryer. And by that time, the fish will be baking nicely in the oven, coleslaw will be in the refrigerator, and we'll be rocking and rolling. So give me a little off-camera time here to do some prep work, and I'll pick back up with you in just a little bit. Okay, my potatoes have been cut up into French fry shape and size. And there's nothing in here but enough water to cover them and a little bit of salt. And they don't have to go in the refrigerator. They're just going to sit over here to the side and soak while I move on to the coleslaw. And I'm going to dice up my cabbages now. Okay, I've got my red cabbage, my Napa cabbage, and my radicchio sliced up. I'm just going to put 2 tablespoons of sugar over that. 1, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, let this set aside while I finish cutting up the carrots that are going to go into it, and then I'll make up the ranch dressing and Greek yogurt. I'll make up the sauce to go on the coleslaw. Okay, let's mix up the dressing for the coleslaw. This is a 32 ounce. I'm using half a tub of Greek yogurt, non-fat, plain. Okay, get a clean spoon. Okay, they make a ranch seasoning mix. I'm going to use 3 tablespoons. 1, 2. Yeah, these are Martha tablespoons, but it's way above the spoonful, but you know, it is what it is. I also have celery salt, 1/2 tablespoon. Have dill weed, 1/2 tablespoon, and a lemon and pepper seasoning, because lemon is the flavor going throughout the batter on the fish, so it make the meal sing together in your mouth. 1, 2 tablespoons of that. Okay, we're going to mix this all together. And this will go on my vegetables over here. That'll be my coleslaw, and I'll put that in the refrigerator, clean my count up a little bit, and we'll start on the fish. Coleslaw is ready. Isn't that pretty? All right, that's going in the refrigerator to marinate, and then we'll pick back up and working on the fish. Huh. He said no bones, but I see bones. That look like a bone to you? Look like a bone to me. I gotta check it. I gotta check it for bones before I move on, because some of them I'm going to do fish fingers with. It doesn't matter in the bake; they're going to kind of disintegrate when you're baking it. But I don't want those in my little fish sticks. Okay, I only found about 7 bones. That's not bad, but that would have been embarrassing if I had company. Yeah, like I said, I don't cook for company. I'm a home cook. It's just for my family. But I don't want to find a bone when I'm eating my own fish. So let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to portion it out as to what I'm going to bake. And what I'm going to use, I've got this pretty little piece right here that I'm going to cut into some fish fingers. And then the other sections I'm going to use for baked fish for my husband. So we got a fishy finger, but I'll pause the camera, save time. The part that I'm going to batter in a little bit and move over to the air fryer for my fish fingers, we're going to put about 2 tablespoons of buttermilk on it for right now. They'd be soaking up some flavor in. 2 little dashes of salt. You see, yeah. 1 little dash of black pepper. And 3 or 4 little dashes of, it's basically Old Bay, but it's a different brand of it. I couldn't find Old Bay the other day. I had one in there that was like this big, and I'm like, good Lord, I'll never use that much Old Bay. I'm not allowed to eat steamed shrimp. In the olden days, before I was told, you got cholesterol, boy, we used to do the peel and eat shrimp. Alright, with a little spoon. Set it up a little bit. Make sure everything's coated. Set that aside over here. Yeah. This fish here, I need my aluminum foil. Cut and do it over. Bring down a piece of foil. I got 2 nice pieces. Some olive oil on the foil so your fish doesn't stick. Now, trade places. Over. There we go. Fish back here. This is what would have been the skin side. Put that up right now because we're going to season that first. We're going to put that down on the foil. So I need my salt. Just a little bit salt. little bit of pepper. Okay, I'll cut the lemons up in a minute. Don't need the buttermilk right now. A little bit of the Old Bay. It's a nice, thick, pretty piece of fish. Okay. I have it's a lemon herb blend. So I'm using some dried herbs, some fresh herbs. That's probably about a tablespoon of that. I also have some lemon pepper seasoning. Told you I got a little lemon theme going here. Lemon helps the fish from being so fishy. Whether you're eating it or having to smell it cook in your house. There. This one is a lemon rosemary. Smells good. Smells lemony. Okay, I always say it wrong. Marjoram. And some garlic parsley. Okay, a little bit of thyme. We're going to repeat the same seasoning on the other side of the fish, but not quite so heavy. A little bit lighter on that one. And we're going to use our lemon and our fresh herbs. I'm going to pause it so I can move my foil back over, and I'm going to take the fish and put it skin side down on the foil, get the cutting board out of the way, clean that off so I can cut up my lemons up later. So I got to pause you for a second here. Sorry. Okay, got my fish flipped over. Now we're going to season this side of it. A little bit of olive oil. A little salt. A little pepper. Old Bay, a little of this lemon one, a little of that lemon one, a little of that lemon one, that lemon one, a little thyme, garlic and parsley, a little marjoram, and we're down to the fresh herb. So what I've got to do at this point is wash my cutting board down better or bring up my smaller little cutting board. I think I'll get the smaller cutting board. All right. Put some of the fresh herbs down. On each fish I've got lemon thyme and curly parsley. I'll show you. Lemon thyme and curly parsley. I'm going to spread that on top of the fish. I'm going to slice me circular diamond, circular shapes of the lemon, lengthwise of it. Lay those out on it. And then I'm going to put another piece of foil on top and close it up. I'm going to go in the oven. So we're going to come back and pick up with the potatoes, because I need to mix up the breading mix that's going to go on the potatoes. Yeah, they're going to taste like those nacho fries, but I'm not using cheese dip because that's calories we just don't eat here. I'll be back in a second. Oh, can you see how beautiful the fish looks? I can pick it up. Yep. Okay, we're going to hold up our little foil packets. Get these in the oven at 375 for about 20 minutes or so, and that's about the time it's going to take me to work with the other fish over there and getting the french fries and the fish fingers into the air fryer. So we'll pick back up in a minute. Let me get the fish in the oven. Covered up, made it look like a little jiffy pop here, but my little pockets, I didn't punch. Some people will punch holes in it, let the steam out. I want the steam to stay in there to make my fish tender. Going in the oven with fish. We're rocking and rolling here today. All right, here we're going to go with the potatoes, and we poured the water off of them where they were soaking in a little salt water to draw the starch out of them so they'll be a crispy potato. We're going to pour just a little bit of buttermilk on them. Maybe half a cup. Save the buttermilk because I'm going to use that on the fish in a minute. My breading is different that's going to go on the potatoes than the fish. So we're going, and like I said, we're going to do the French fries first because I don't want to fry French fries after I fried fish in oil. I can tell when a restaurant's done that too, and I want to send it back, but I hate to be a Karen. All right. We're going to put the same seasoning in our flour. Let's just put us about, let's see, that's 2 potatoes, so maybe a cup of flour. It's just going to be a light breading. We're not trying to make them look like fried chicken, just going to be a little lightly dusted. We're going to put the same seasoning on the potato itself in its milk bath that's going to be in the flour, that they're going to come out of here, go into the flour, and then over to my plate, which I'm going to carry over to the grease. So I've got my Flavor Bomb burger, which is basically, let's see, it's salt, onion, garlic, mustard powder, red bell pepper powder, jalapeno pepper powder, green onion pepper powder. Yeah, so it's just peppery spice. Gonna go on the potatoes and go in here. I'm gonna leave that out because I might put some on when it comes out the air fryer. This one, I'm gonna set this over here with my air fryer. I've also got a little chili powder. Gonna go into the potatoes and into the breading. A little bit of garlic. A little bit of cayenne, red pepper. Okay. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. And since this is all-purpose flour, I have baking powder. Here we go. Need a little bit of baking powder in with the flour. That's basically a half teaspoon of everything that I just did there. Mix it into your flour, mix that well. Mix your potatoes around here into their spicing well. Okay? I should try to have wet hand, dry hand, all that. I know what you're supposed to do, but it's not that easy to do that. Forget which hand's which. I'm gonna go here into the flour, dust it lightly, shake off the excess over to the plate. And the flour, dust it lightly. Now if I had a clean finger, I'd pause the camera because you don't have to sit here and watch all that. You'll meet me over at the grease. All right, I've got a skillet here with some zero trans fat. I like to use Smart Balance oil when I'm frying. I think it's hot enough. We're going to go ahead and put our breaded seasoned potatoes in. Just long enough for them to sizzle. Shake them around a little bit. And we're going to take them out over here and put them on paper towels and let them drain before we're going to go on the screens that are from the air fryer. But once these come out, I'm going to go back over there and I'm going to bread my little fish chunks. Bring those over. Pre-fry those just for a second. Wipe my fingers off. Clean towel. Yeah, fish looks good in the oven. Fork right here. Shake those around a little bit. Make sure we get oil coating them all over. So they're basically in here for about 3 minutes. Then I'm going to take those out to the next pan. I don't want to overload my pan. Take those out and let them drain. And then we'll pick back up bread and the fish. And we're going to do the same with the fish. It's a little bit different bread and it's got some cornmeal in it. So it tastes more like fish. I don't want fish to taste like chicken. I also don't want it to taste too fishy. Be right back. Okay, my potatoes have been pre-fried. I'm going to move those out the way for a minute. It's kind of hot. I can't see the counter. Can't leave the grease sitting on the burner either, or it'll get too hot and get these little crunches out of it. And then I can reuse this grease for the fish. Okay. Let's move back over to the other. All right, let's get the fish ready to go over there and pre-fry so that it all can go in the air fryer. It's, as you know, it's been soaking in some buttermilk with just a little bit of Old Bay, salt and pepper on it. So I got my flour here. I need a little bit of baking powder because it's plain flour. About half a teaspoonful. I thought I had some cornstarch that was open. About a teaspoonful of cornstarch. Gotta make it crisp up. That's about a 3/4 cup of flour, and I'm going to use about a 1/4 cup of cornmeal. There we go. Put this milk back in the refrigerator. Okay, mix this all together here. Take fish, we're going to go with fish. The same thing like we do, take fish and the flour over here and dust it off, and then we're going to carry it over to the stove. So we'll meet back over at the stove to fry the fish. Okay. Put a fish in. We're not trying to cook it all the way now. We're just trying to make the flour stick. Then we're going to drain it over here on the paper towel like the potatoes are draining. And we'll put it in the air fryer. Is that the way? I'm right on schedule for when my husband gets home for him to enjoy his birthday dinner. He's got fish 2 ways. He's got a side of seasoned potatoes and coleslaw. Then he's got his German chocolate cake over there for dessert. We'll pick back up. We'll save some time so the video won't. All right, the fish and potatoes, they're pre-fried, ready to go in the air fryer. I'm just going to put a little bit of salt. There we go. Now, here's the conundrum. My burner's hot because I was just frying grease on it. I need to take my screens out, and I have to prep them with the Pam non-stick spray. I can't lay them here because they'll burn my little hands off. So I am going to have to go back over to the counter for a minute. I'm going to spray these with non-stick spray. I'm going to transfer my potatoes on one tray. They're not all going to fit. I'm going to have to do twice on the potatoes another timing after this finishes. And then I'll put the fish on the other tray. I'll come back over and show you when I'm putting them in the air fryer and what settings we'll put it on. Okay, as you can see, I got my potatoes, my french fries on the top shelf, fish on the bottom shelf because I don't want the fish to be dripping down onto the potatoes. We're going into the air fryer at 400 degrees. And we're going to go 16 minutes. I'm going to check it at the 8-minute mark. So I'll put my time over here on 8. So I know I might, at that point in time, enough grease has dripped out the fish. I might, depending upon which browning more, swap them. Put the fish on the top tray, move the potatoes down to the bottom tray. Well, there's really nothing I can do. The fish hadn't been cooking long enough for us to peek at that and look at that yet. So I'm going to go wash dishes and pick back up with you in a little bit. Okay, that's my timer telling me it's time to check on the air fryer. Let's see. Ooh, they're getting there, but they're not ready yet. Let's swap positions. Yeah. Put the potatoes down here. Put the fish up here. Close it back up. Alright, the timer's getting ready to set off on the chicken. Boy, I'm tired, isn't I? It's not chicken, it's fish. It needs to be looking white. Not translucent. Let's check it. No translucency. Let's check it with a fork and see. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. Can you see? There. See if we can stick a fork in those. They're tender. Yep. All right. Set those there. Still got his fish, not chicken, in the oven. Let's do a French fry test. Crunchy. Soft on the inside. Crunchy on the outside. You can use ketchup or any kind of dip you want to, but it's good, doesn't need any dip. All right, we're going to peek at the fish that's been baking in the oven, the lemon herb fish. Oh. I can't see a thing. Woo. Hold on a second. I can't see a thing. All right. Let's peek in one and see. Hot. Woo! Hot. Oh, that's pretty. Take the top foil off. Go in the sink for a minute. I'll put the trash can in a second. Then I open this other one up and not burn my fingers to death. I think it is this one. There we go. Whew. Beautiful. That you can see. Baked cod with herb and lemon. And let's not forget the coleslaw. His coleslaw. There we go. That's Bob's birthday dinner. German chocolate cake for dessert. I hope you'll follow along and try to cook this yourself one day. Thanks for watching. Okay, I got Bob's birthday dinner for him. It's his favorite thing. It's baked fish. It's lemon and herb cod here. And I'm not a fan of the baked fish, so I have a little air-fried cod and seasoned potatoes. They are breaded and seasoned, so they'd be crunchy. And we've got cabbage, carrots, basic slaw, but it's made with Greek yogurt, so we're saving calories. At the air fryer, they were pre-fried in the Smart Balance zero trans fat oil and then transferred to the air fryer. That way the breading doesn't turn into a hockey puck. So, German chocolate cake for dessert. Come by one, eat with us.